Alright, so I thought I would take a break from talking about making comics as a producer of them and talk about just being a consumer of comics and pop culture because something came across my radar that just demanded that I make some kind of comment. And it's Batwoman, the new CW series, starring actress Ruby Rose as Kate Kane. Oh, nice alliteration of names there, I gotta say. Now, if you remember, Ruby Rose underwent criticism because she was viewed as perhaps not lesbian enough, but now here she is in the character, and we get the official release from CW, who gives the official synopsis as this. Batwoman revolves around Kate Kane, who, armed with a passion for social justice, yes, a passion for social justice, that is what she's armed with. It's not a gun, it's not batarangs, it's a passion for social justice and a flair for speaking her mind. Well, thank God. She soars onto the streets of Gotham as Batwoman, oh my God, and highly trained street fighter primed to snuff out the failing city's criminal resurgence. Don't call her a hero yet. In a city desperate for a savior, Kate must overcome her demons before embracing the call to Gotham's symbol of hope. Wow. Okay. Wow. Let's break this pitch down here one at a time. First off, why do I need to know Batwoman's sexuality? Now I understand why I would need to know it as a viewer. Like if I'm going, oh, this is a character who, when she goes home, she's going to be with a lady, so that way I know which way the romance scenes are going. But presumably, Batwoman has a secret identity, right? So why do the people on the street need to know that Batwoman is lesbian? Um, why is that or sexual orientation so important to the persona of the hero that the average man on the street needs to know that? I mean, that seems kind of weird. Why is it so important that it had to be jammed here in the synopsis? I mean, is she going to get called on like an abusive relationship case where, oh, I'm sorry, only a lesbian would really understand the homosexual issues that are at play here. A straight hero just won't do. Sorry, Superman, gotta go. I mean, what's going on here? Okay, well, I'll tell you why. Because she has a passion for social justice and she loves to speak her mind. So let's just really take this apart. So social justice mainly looks at group dynamics. It kind of comes out of sociology and how the interaction of groups. So if Batwoman is a literal social justice warrior and she's witnessing a crime, let's just say theoretically this particular crime would happen to be, say, someone low on the intersectionality spectrum, like a black man stealing, say, a white guy's wallet. Is she going to go, well, in this case, the perpetrator is clearly oppressed and acting out against his oppressor, so I'm going to let this one slide? Is that what she's going to do? I mean, the way this description reads, she should have a freaking Antifa mask. This is absurd. I do not want to see writers cramming social justice down my throat, not to mention, if that's the defining definition of the character, then, oh my God, it makes my brain hurt. Like how much they're going to have to just beat the plot over the head, or just beat you over the head with their ridiculous social justice plot week after week. But the reason I was saying it was so important that the character was a lesbian is so that she can now, preach sister about, because she's now part of an affected class. Her intersectionality score is now low because otherwise, as a white woman, well, she can't really be lecturing us. And I guess this is why it's so important that the actual actress be, an authentic, approved lesbian, get the whole stamp of approval here, so that when she speaks through the mouth of the character, who has a flair for speaking her mind, we all understand that when she's lecturing people, it's not just a white woman, it's a lesbian, because that makes her political opinion so much more relevant. This is yet another episode of Woke Capitalism, where companies pretend to care about social justice in order to pander to consumers who pretend to hate capitalism. In this case, the CW wants to let you know that, oh yes, we have an authentic lesbian who's playing a character who's an out lesbian so that she can lecture everybody about the evils of whiteness. This is absurd. I mean, let's just take for a minute the character of Batman. If I described Batman as having a flair for speaking his mind, would that appeal to you? Would you be like, oh, that's what I really want? I really want someone to preach to me. No, you'd think like, well, I don't know if I want it. Like even Superman is never described as being mouthy. Why? Because it's not a benefit. It's not something an audience is really wants to tune into. But because it's Batwoman, I really want her to stand on a soapbox and lecture me about politics. This is absurd. I'm calling it right now. This is yet another get woke, go broke. This thing's gonna not even last. No, it's gonna last one season. It's not gonna get picked up for a second season. Batwoman will disappear. All right. Look me up a year from now. Tell me I'm wrong. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, well, look, maybe they didn't really mean to use the term social justice. They did. Come on. Come on. And by the way, if you go back to this incarnation of the character, the tough as nails out lesbian version of the character, who was one of the seminal figures in her creation, Mark Waid. That guy. So you really think that this is not going to be basically Antifa with bat ears? Come on, this is absurd. And one thing, since we're here, one thing I've always been curious about is why exactly homosexuality therefore somehow translates to social justice, aka Marxism. Why are those two things supposedly connected? As I talk about in my series, White Lily, homosexuality was you go to gulag under communism. So it's not like the Soviet Union was particularly woke when it came to gender and homosexual politics. So I'm not sure why over here in Western spheres, the idea that she's a lesbian therefore gives her cred when it comes to social justice. Not to mention, as many a gay man has said, lesbianism, well, that's the right kind of gay. It's when was the last time you really saw someone say, "Well, I just lesbians"? Oh, that sickens me. I mean, come on, seriously. The whole thing is just designed to appeal to well, hate to say it's designed to appeal to white people. This is really just made by white people to appeal to people who are themselves white but feel so bad about it. Deep down, they feel so guilty that I guess they feel part of a race that's doing so well that they just want to see other people do better at their expense. And isn't it great that now we have this character to come along and do that for them? I mean, think about it for a minute. If I pitched a series idea, Original Sin, the series, in each episode we will explore why, despite the fact you've done your best to lead a good life, it's just not enough because of what your ancestors did, which, by the way, is the Catholic doctrine. It's you need Jesus to save you because even if you lead a perfect, sinless life, that's kind of hard. But even if you did it, you'd still go to hell because Adam and Eve. So would you really want to tune in to if I describe a character as having a passion for original sin? Like, that's absurd, right? You go like, well, why would I want to tune in and watch someone who's just self-hating because of the crimes of their ancestors? When I put it in those kind of terms, you realize how just absolutely ridiculous this is. That we've got a white woman who's self-hating, but it's kind of okay because she's gay. This show cannot get canceled fast enough for me. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, this guy, he's a horrible misogynist. I'm the creator. So far, I've got 3 comics under my belt. Each one of them has a strong female protagonist. You might check out White Lily, the story of the 2 deadliest female combat pilots in history. They flew into the Soviet Union. And by the way, one of them is a lesbian. And my other project, currently up on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, Guinevere and the Divinity Factory. So And that I have a real woman, Juliet Keita, as the likeness of the character. So I'm doing my best to put women in the spotlight when I can. I don't think the misogynist label is going to really stick here. I just think this particular plot line is absolutely absurd, and social justice needs to die.